Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl Godly, and I want to apologize. I haven't been as active as usual, but once again, I have been sick. I don't know what the fuck has been going on this year, but it's like I have just been repeatedly sick. And I'm usually like very, very anal as far as carrying hand sanitizer, wipes. Wiping down the buggy, all kinds of stuff. I even go as far as not going to Walmart during the cold and flu season, but apparently this year it hadn't made a rat's ass difference, so I'm sick once again. So anyways, I don't know if it's the weather changes or, what's been going on, but like I said, I just want to apologize, and I am back, I am better, and I am ready to bitch. So, the gameplay in the background is free-for-all on Raid. There was several times within this game that I just wanted to, just quit. I don't know for why. It felt like I could not get my bearings in this game. Like, I felt like I was lost the entire game. But this dude with the shotgun kept pissing me off, and you know me, like, I can't leave shit alone, so I just stuck with it. There was another dude that was sniping the shit out of me, and I just felt like, when somebody's sniping you and then the other one's using a shotgun, the other one's running and rushing and using a knife, like, I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of felt lost the entire fucking game. So anyways, at the end, it actually goes well, so I'm glad I stuck with it. But today, I want to talk about clans, in particular, the known or famous clans, such as, Optic, Obey, Soar, M48-3, FaZe. The list goes on and on. This kind of stems from a Q&A I was watching, from FaZe Temper. And of course, the famous question everybody always likes to ask, how do we get into FaZe? So FaZe Temper was like, listen, you have to stick out. You have to catch our eye. Which, that is probably so simple of a statement. I mean, wouldn't you agree? That sounds so easy. But when you're talking about FaZe, now I don't know how many subscribers he has in particular, but I know FaZe, as in the whole clan, they have over 1 million. I don't know how many, each individual member has. I'm not a fangirl like that, but I know for a fact they have over 1 million subs. So, how the fuck do you stick out whenever you have over 1 million subs? And I'm sure if you did a recruitment challenge, can you imagine how many video responses or questions or what have you would get regarding it? So, all in all, how the fuck would you stick out? Like, I don't know. I'm not saying that that's like a stupid answer or, anything like that. I'm just saying, pretty simple. Like, how the fuck do you stick out? How would you catch their eye? So, it led me to think, as far as some of these big clans, the famous, the known clans, like, what makes them so much better, so much more important than the rest of us? For me, I could give two shits about it. I have been there. There was a point in my life, in gaming that I was a hardcore search and destroy fan. I've been in a clan. I've been in a gaming community. And at different times in my, history, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Now, I guess now I'm at a point where I enjoy riding solo. I enjoy doing my own thing. I have 700 and, little over 750 subs, which may or may not mean a lot. I am tickled pink about it, but I know for a fact that I got all of my subs based on me. based on my skill, based on my gameplay, based on my accent, based on my personality. They're all mine. I earned each and every one of them. But it just kind of made me think as far as, the known clans, like how many members in these clans, aren't really worth shit. Let's just say that. I know for a fact that there are several members in Optic that, aren't active, who haven't put up shit, as far as montages, episodes, OCEs, anything like that. I know for a fact some of the members that haven't, put up any current material. But just because they're Optic, they get, bukus of views, bukus of subs, and hadn't put out a fucking thing that's current. It's irritating. It's irritating to me, probably irritating to y'all, because, most of y'all, just like me, fight every time you publish, you upload a video, to get more subs, to get more views. And it seems like, it's just a struggle constantly because you're competing with these, known clans. And it's just irritating because just because of their fucking name, doesn't matter what their content is, it does not matter whatsoever. I see it all the time that, some of these girls put up whack-ass material, but just because, their name is Optic or Obey or whatever, some of the ones that aren't even in a clan, they put up this material and, over how to get a date or how to do this. And it's like, really? But just because they're known, they continue to get more subs and continue to get, more views. And it's kind of like, how they say, like, the rich get, richer, the poor get poorer. That's how I feel with this whole thing. But going back to what FaZe said, Temper, whatever he said, as far as sticking out and getting known, that's how, you would get into FaZe, which I don't know how the fuck that's possible, but it just blows my mind that, just because you have FaZe in front of your name or Optic in front of your name, you can put up shit material, and do whatever, and people will still, flock to you because you're in FaZe. It's just irritating because, I've even heard as far as M40A3, I've heard of people paying their way to get into that clan. I hear all the time, oh, well, even last week, I was talking with this dude, and he was like, oh, well, we let her in because she's friends with so-and-so. And it's like, really? So you got motherfuckers who are paying to get into clans, people, that are getting in because they know somebody in the clan, and it's fucking irritating, so as in always, even in real life, it's all about who you know or who you blow. That's what I got for y'all. Till next time, peace out.